Can you hear this microphone through the thing?
No.
No. Huh? Can you hear this through your right ear? No. Let me check. I want to get it on automatic focus, so you haven't got to worry about the focus. Let me check here. Yeah. It's counting. Okay, now it's recording. Okay. I don't know if he's going to take batting practice or not.
Recording. You're recording?
At this very moment.
Are we supposed to be talking?
We'll start here.
It's Bill Chase bobblehead day up here in Montreal.
Yeah, bobblehead doll. Calvin Castine and Bill Chase from Montreal's Olympic Stadium. St. Louis Cardinals are in town, and maybe if Nick Chase, our cameraman, can turn to his left a little bit, you can see the man who's about to come up and take a little batting practice. Look, he's looking around.
Who do you think you are? You don't think that in Montreal. Who do you think you are? You're a fucking idiot, man.
Whoa. Bill Chase, Calvin Castine at Montreal's Olympic Stadium. We're right in the middle of an embarrassing moment for the Montreal fans right here, Bill. There's a fan up there who has a sign that's apparently Youpie, that's ugly, it's you. And he's swearing at McGuire.
He said Youpie was ugly?
Apparently that's what that's according to his sign. It says, it's not Youpie that's ugly, it's you.
Oh, okay.
So I assume that somewhere along the line.
Talking about Canadian people or something in general.
I don't know. So McGuire is completely dumbfounded out there.
Security's just taking him away.
Security is asking this guy to leave, and the fans around here are just totally embarrassed. Here they are, trying to get McGuire's autograph, trying to show him that they appreciate what he's done for baseball. And you got some jerk in the stands who's cursing at him, using words that I never use. And
well, I was amazed that he got his attention, though. To tell you the truth,
yeah. Well, first Mark was just joking with him. He just heard the guy hollering for him. So he started looking around, and then he looked up there, figuring it'd be somebody that had something nice to say, and this guy started swearing at him, and all of a sudden McGuire said, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, he got the attention of a lot of Cardinals, actually.
And a few of the security people here, and fortunately they've moved him away. So it's much the embarrassment of the fans here. There aren't a lot of fans, as you know, Bill Chase, that come to these games at Olympic Stadium, and when they're here to cheer on the Expos and maybe appreciate the visiting team, it's kind of embarrassing for them to have somebody like that come up and do that.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is.
That would never happen in Lion Mountain at a Lion Mountain baseball game. We know that. If Mark McGuire showed up.
If Mark McGuire showed up, that's right. No, it would not happen. I don't think so. No. Especially at Lion Mountain and Altona in town. Both those guys would show a lot of appreciation if Mark McGuire showed up.
So we're at Olympic Stadium. Nick Chase is running the camera here. We're breaking him in, hoping he doesn't break the camera. We're coming off a big weekend in Champlain Valley Baseball League play. I won't bring it up because your favorite team lost 2 one-run games, 2 very good ball games for the fans, no matter who won. That was.
Oh yeah, most certainly. It was exciting baseball, like I said in the paper, I guess. But it was exciting for Altona. Last year we got the breaks, this year they got them. Can't take nothing away from them. They got a lot of good ball players. But we should be back there next year.
McGuire is here. He's hitting. We got here late.
Nick, you can go ahead. Film him if you want while we're talking.
We'll get out of your way here. We'll get out of Nick's way here so we can zoom in on McGuire, if he remembers how to zoom. We got here a little bit late, so we didn't run up to get the press information yet. And from what I've read, McGuire's last 7 hits have all been home runs, which would probably sound fantastic, except that's 7 for the last 48 at bats. So McGuire's in a bit of a slump. He is hitting home runs at a good clip. That one there looks like it's cleared right to the warning track. He is hitting home runs at a good clip, but he's not getting any other hits. So it's got to be a tough time for him. Last year, when he spent a greater portion probably than this year on another rough season for him, and you would think that with the life and legend of Mark McGuire that he's had a storybook life, but he's had a lot of injuries over the years.
That's true, he has. For Oakland, he was maybe play what, 120, 130 games a year, a lot of times. He's getting up there in age. What is he, 37, 38 years old now?
Yeah, he's closing in on 40, and he's at this moment, I believe he's still tied with Harmon Killebrew with 573 career home runs. Maybe we'll get to see number 574 and see him move ahead of Killebrew and a little bit closer to Frank Robinson, who's up the next target at 586. But he's in addition to all the success he's had, he's also had some frustrating seasons, and the last 2 seasons are an example of that. And if you go back to the early 90s, he had 2 years in a row when he had only 9 home runs, and many fans tend to forget about that if they ever knew it to begin with, that he had some seasons where he thought very seriously about quitting.
Only 9 home runs? I don't remember. Wow.
2 very injury-plagued years. And of course, the old saying always was with McGuire that if he ever stays healthy for an entire year, look out.
Yeah, because they actually, well, he played with Canseco, right?
Yeah,
and
with Oakland, yeah.
And he was always putting, Canseco would put in more time, but McGuire's numbers were just as good with the limited amount of time that he put in.
And he suddenly got hot a few years back, and right in the middle of that season, Oakland traded him to St. Louis. He ended up with 58 home runs for the season. But as the old saying goes, you ain't seen nothing yet. And the next year is when he hit the 70. Then he followed that up with a 65 home run season. And the last 2 years, he's been injury plagued. I think he had 32 last year, and I think he's about 17 or so this year at this point.
When did he hit 70?
That would have been 4 seasons ago.
It's been that long?
It's been that long.
Wow.
He had 52 the year before being traded. He had 58 the year he was traded. He had 70 the following year, which I would guess would probably be 98. And then, whoa, that foul ball ricocheted in the seats out there. So let's assume that 70 was 98, 65 was 99, last year was 32, and this year is the 4th season since that record-breaking season. And of course, in 2 weeks from today, as we're taping this, the man who was leading the chase for him, and you don't mind me using that word chase, do you?
That's okay.
It's okay. He's leading the chase, and that's Bobby Bonds, son of Barry Bonds. And as we're talking, you said he hit one last night, so he's got 48 right now, huh?
Right, he's got 48.
Which is only 22 away. I mean, that's, when you think about it, 22 is a lot of home runs.
22, yeah, especially in September when you're going to be tired and you got the pressure of trying to close the gap. Well, I'm not St. Louis, San Francisco. They're in a wicked playoff race. There's 3 teams: Arizona, Los Angeles, San Francisco, all bundled up together.
Well, I think one thing, Bill, I'm a couple days older than you, so I remember 1961 when Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle were going head-to-head, and Maris hit the 60-run home runs. A big factor to the fans liking Mantle more was that Mantle had the reputation. He'd been there a lot more years and had hit a lot more home runs. Maris had a successful season in 1960 as that one error gets over in the bleachers, halfway up to the bleachers, and almost dead center. Maris had a successful season in 1960. He'd hit 39 homers that year to Mantle's 40. But that was the only year he'd hit that many home runs. And prior to that, 27 was his high. So he wasn't a man with a big reputation as a home run hitter. And I think fans look for the guy who's got the reputation. If you look back when McGuire and Sosa were doing it, well, Sosa was chasing McGuire for most of the season, and Sosa had only hit 36 for a high prior to that. since then he's had 66, 63, and 50 last year, and he's on pace to hit 50 or more again this year. So he has come on to be a legitimate, consistent home run threat. This year you've got Bonds, who had 49 last year and who's had 46 in the past and has had some good home run titles. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes Luis Gonzalez out of Arizona, who's right on his tail. And the most he's ever hit in a single season, and he's been around 10 or 12 seasons, is 31 homers. So I think you find the fans cheering for the guy who has the reputation. So I think that's why this year more people are pulling for Bonds than Gonzalez, and when McGuire did it, more people were pulling for him than with Sosa. Any thoughts on that? You're a man of many thoughts.
Bonds is not that popular, though.
I know that, but you don't really. I think, in addition to battling Gonzalez, he's also, of course, battling Mark McGuire, who is very popular. And I don't think people are ready to see McGuire's record beat. Just as in '98, people weren't ready, even though it had been 37 years. Some people weren't ready to see Roger Maris's record leave. And back in '61, they weren't ready to see Babe Ruth's record leave either.
No. Yeah, but baseball, as Nick would say, is a funny sport. It doesn't always work out the way you want to, as we found out over the weekend.
Lion Mountain very ably proved over the weekend.
Because it's not always that, Roger Maris or Luis Gonzalez. It could be anybody, Then you got like in Seattle, you've got a guy that Ichiro there came along, and
yeah, but he's not a home run hitter.
Well, I know, but he just seems like it's almost unexplainable how he can come over here and hit the ball as well as he's hitting the ball. And the one thing about Bonds, that a lot of people remember about him is there's a shot. Is that he has not in a row?
Yeah, I think we might see one. The way he's swinging right now, we might see one tonight. I'm going to have to make sure either you or Nick are down here to...
That's either the third or fourth time he's hit one out right here in bat practice. Well, I was going to say about Bonds is that he's choked in the playoffs. He's hit a lot of home runs. He's been a great guy during the regular seasons, but that's one thing that's going against him, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, well, and it bugs him too. He has a reputation for being arrogant, but the interviews I've seen this year with him, I thought were very, very good interviews, considering all the pressure. We remember McGuire from 3 seasons ago, all the pressure really got to him. And if McGuire didn't have Sosa to take some of the heat off and turn it into a friendly rivalry, then I think he would have had some pretty nasty quotes by the time the season ended up. But Bonds, I thought, has handled it very well. And one of the things he has said as the ground crew comes out here, McGuire's going off to your left there, Nick, if you want to get a shot of him. He'll probably be signing a few autographs.
Nick, get a shot of McGuire over there.
McGuire, at times we've seen come down here, McGuire's been very good about signing autographs for the fans.
Well, and that's one thing that keeps you popular. If you work hard and actually take the time out for the fans. I don't care what ball player you are. You're gonna remain popular with the fans.
And he's very good about it. But getting back to Bonds, the interviews that I have seen, he's given a lot of credit to God. He says, God gives me these hot streaks, and he says I've asked God, why not give me a hot streak in the playoffs? He says, not at the start of the season. He says, I'd like to get a hot streak in October instead of in May or June. So, anytime for me when a superstar athlete like that is man enough to admit that maybe God has a lot to do with his success, that impresses me.
Yeah, I haven't heard them interviews. I don't know. Sometimes watching SportsCenter and everything can get a little monotonous.
Yeah, and it interferes with your Cartoon Network, I know.
Yeah.
You miss out, you wouldn't know what Yosemite Sam is up to, would you?
That's right, a rack and frack environment.
Okay, well, I think Nick's arm is about to fall off. He thought he was, he had a good arm.
You know.
Well, his season's over. In case you haven't heard, Bill, the season is over.
If you hear Calvin go, ouch or something, I just kicked him in the ankle.
But we'll let Nick wrap up this portion, and then we'll be back with some game clips, and maybe we'll catch somebody after the ball game in the locker room and see what they have to say. So for right now, we're going to give Nick Chase his arm a needed rest. Just want to get a shot of this before we come on the air, just to show that everybody can be a celebrity at one time or another. And we're going to explain to you why this man in the white overalls is a celebrity today. Calvin Castine from Hometown Cable at Olympic Stadium, and joining me right now is Peter Regnier, and camera's on automatic pilot, so let's hope you set it up good, Peter.
Let's hope I did too.
Let's explain to the folks how come this man in the white overalls here is a star today.
He might be out of the shot. I'll go take a look, but
that's all right. I already got a shot of him.
But the guy in the background, as you have seen probably prior to this shot, is we were wondering that same thing. Who the heck is this guy? He's got white overalls on. He's got a press corps around him like he's the president of the United States, but really what he is.
He's holding this bat out there like this, like he's the Bambino.
Yeah, and it says, it has a number on it, 548 maybe. I don't know if that was the previous home run that Bonds hit.
Bonds is at 548 right now.
Well, then that's the bat that hit that home run that ties Mike Schmidt. But really what that guy does is, what we heard from the rest of the press corps, is he makes the bats for Barry Bonds, so that's why he's in fact a celebrity here in Montreal. So there you have it.
I mean, I've heard of people bringing along personal people in their entourage, but your bat maker, I mean, I don't quite understand why he would follow Bonds around.
I don't get it either. I mean, what's going to happen if he breaks a bat during the game? Is the guy going to go in the tunnel somewhere and he's carrying around a lathe with him?